Can you guys hear me? Thank you. Oh, was the exam easy, right? It's 80% passing rate. I said, if you don't pass it, just do it again, it's okay, man. You know, the first thing I learned, right? Not like I'm here to give you advice, but the first thing when you come out of work, exams don't mean anything. Bad advice for you now, but true. So it's okay to fail. That's the only way you can learn. Alright. Before that, I'm supposed to give you these things. The last time I forgot to give you these. Can you just snap a photo of this and like go to the website and fill up the feedback form, and if you haven't done the partners registration, please do so. And there's like a YouTube channel for you to view stuff. I have no idea what it is, but you can you can go there. So these were my instructions, the instructions that were given to me. Okay, you got all this down? Just take a photo only, ma. When I was still in college, I never had all these mobile phones, you know. Well, I had a mobile phone, like, you take pictures. Okay, so today we're gonna do the first of the advanced courses, which is advanced search. And next week we're gonna do display. So to get certified, you just need to pass either this one, if you pass the fundamentals one. So you have to pass the fundamentals plus any other advanced ones, which is this one, advanced search or display. So you guys are supposed to sit for all the exams, right? Are you required to pass all of them? Just two, right? So, so obviously my advice to you is try to pass all, but this one advanced search is actually really an extension of what we learned last week. And the exam for advanced search is actually a lot trickier. Alright? So it's not so straightforward because it requires a lot of thinking, a lot of strategies, tactics, that sort of stuff. So, what I'm going to do today, a fair bit will be like a little bit of revision. But my goal is to kind of give you a different take on it, and I'm going to use some data, some screens to do that. So, can you guys please use your own computer and take out your AdWords and play around with stuff, so it makes it a lot easier for you to learn. Okay, so how many of you actually seriously, after doing the first exam, think you're going to be like, you can be really good at this? Don't be shy. Good. I mean, it's really a skill that is in demand, and I'm not saying this because, you know, I'm here sitting here trying to teach you stuff, but it's the truth. So, so trying to use this to your advantage when you want to go for your internships or you want to get a job. Right. Okay. So I'm gonna start with a revisit of what we did last week, and I'm gonna ask you some questions instead of me just rattling on what you already did last week. So, like I said, my style is really not going through every single slide in detail, but so I use it as a reference. So. If you remember AdWords search or AdWords in general, so has 3 levels, right? And what levels are those? They're on the board. So what's in usually the account level? Anyone? What do you do at the account level? What's the first thing you did when you sign up the account? They asked you to do something, right? Yeah, ask you to put your credit card in, right? So stuff like credit card, funding, financing, that kind of stuff. So you can actually pay through credit card, or you can actually later on I'll show you. If your client or yourself you have a lot to spend, you can actually hook straight to Google to invoice you directly. So you don't have to kind of have a credit limit of 50,000 ringgit a month to spend 50,000 ringgit worth of ads. Okay, so things at the account level, like your account access, who you should give access to, who you should link to, and all that stuff is all at account level. Notifications and all those stuff. And then most of the action happens where? What level is that? Under the account level is what level? The blue one on the screen now, what's that? Campaign level lah. So what's in the campaign level? This is where you create campaigns, right? The objectives of your marketing, your online marketing initiatives, right? So campaigns, what's usually in a campaign? What kind of settings are those? What's in the campaign level? Has to do with money as well, what is it? Your budget, right? So is it monthly budget, weekly budget, yearly budget, what? It's a daily budget, right? So you have daily budget, then what else is in there? What should you select in what campaign? So you choose the type of campaign you want to run, right? What's it? What are different kind of, what's the terminology for that? Yeah, search and display, different kind of network, right? The terminology, so you can choose the display network or the search network, right? So you can also have other things like combination of search and display together. Then there are also things like shopping and all this other stuff in there. And then campaigns, or what other settings can you define in campaigns? Can you remember? So if INTI engages you to run some Google ads for them, and they're trying to target people to come for an open day, how would you do it? What would you do? Well, you set it up, how would you set it up? Who, when, why, what, how? Those questions. So, location. Do you remember location? So you need to set up location, like where the user is going to be, right? All those things are all at a campaign level. And then things like how you bid for it. Do you bid by manual cost per click? Or do you use the automatic bidding function? Or do you use the conversion data? Okay, so what's inside the ad group level? The keywords, right? If you're doing search, keywords and the corresponding ad, right? So in your ad, you can write, is there a limit to how many ads you can create? I mean, technically yes, but you're not going to come out with just one ad. You're going to come out with a few ads to let it rotate, right? To see which one is better, so you have few options around that. All right, so let's move on. So that's the hierarchy. And so what some people do is to enable them to structure this correctly, they always come to this debate as to how should I normally divide my campaigns into. So do you go by product, or do you go by location, or anything like that? So some people, what they do, they actually use their website structure to organize their campaigns and ad groups. But like I said, it's by no means like the only way to do it. But generally, how you should structure your campaigns and ad groups, and campaigns especially, and what goes into campaign level rather than ad group, is dictated by the settings in the campaign level. So is it a different budget you want to allocate? Or is it a different location? You may want to do a different language. You may want to kind of structure that differently. Different kind of bidding, you want to structure that in a different campaign. So for example, if your ad groups shouldn't be more than 15, 20 ad groups. If you have like 100, 1,000 ad groups in there, there's something wrong, because you're probably not gonna get all the traffic in there, because your campaign budget is limited. So what you should do is, if you want to dedicate specific ad groups their own budget, you should move that ad group into a campaign. So call it a campaign. So for example, you can have an ad group that talks about targeting the keyword catering, K-A-T-E-R-N-G in Malay, and there's one in C-A-T-E-R-N-G. So some people put that in different campaigns, some people put that in one campaign in multiple ad groups. So which one should you choose? Which one do you choose? Campaigns, right? Multiple campaigns? You can. I mean, like, there's no right or wrong answer here. So it depends on whether you think the ad groups, each of them, warrant their own budget or not. So if the one that says CATRNG is doing well, and the KATRNG both are doing well, one way you can increase the budget in the campaign settings, or you just take them out. If one of them are doing well, you are doing slightly okay, you take that one out and leave the good ones in there. So the good one, you move into another budget that when you want to kind of change and make it better. So you leave the campaign that is doing well and call that this is the good campaign or the main campaign. And then you remove the ad groups that are not doing well into another campaign that's, more experimental. Put smaller budgets there, because you're going to waste your money, right? So that's sort of how you really go about managing it. So this topic today, advanced search, is really about how you can manage things better, right? So you already learned the basics. Now it's like, how do you sort of move certain optimizations, how to make it better, avoid losing money, that kind of stuff. This is where the advanced user would want to go through, so what I want to learn about, right? Okay, so why don't I just, sorry, wrong button. So like I said, campaign level settings, how you structure your campaign, and all those things, like I said, it's really a combination of things, but like I said, primarily driven what kind of settings you want to do, like budget and stuff like that. So in campaign, if you were to move your campaigns or have different campaigns, bear in mind, the determining factors would be like daily budget. So if you think your campaign warrants its own budget, like it's a different product, like you're selling headphones versus Chromecast, do you put them in the same campaign, or do you put in the different campaign? So the guy, there's a Google store, right? They sell stuff on Google, right? They have an e-commerce store. So in e-commerce store, they probably have a guy that runs AdWords as well. So imagine you're that guy, how would you structure your campaign? You probably have a different budget for the Chromecast versus a budget for the headphones, right? Because they all have it's a different product, so they have different financial goals. They have different margins and stuff like that. So they will give you probably the Chromecast sells better than the headphones, so it warrants its own campaign and its budget. So you set the daily budget. You can set bidding styles, like I said, whether it's cost per click, automatic, using conversion data, enhanced CPC, the conversion optimizer. Have you remembered the conversion optimizer? That uses the conversion data, conversion tracking, right? Right, so those are the different type of bidding methods you can use to optimize your ultimate metric. So give me a metric that you will look at that's important. So if I'm your future employer, and I'm Zalora, Lazada or something, and I hire you to run my AdWords campaigns, what would the metrics be for you? Key metrics, like you must meet this certain number every month or get it lower or higher. What would that be? Yes, ROI, return. So your ROI will be like, how much, if I spend $1, how much am I going to get out of it, right? So how much profit do I make out of it? So there are also things like, what's the cost per conversion, the cost per sale, the cost per lead, the cost per action, whatever you call it. So if I were to get a sale, if my T-shirt costs 50 ringgit and I spend 45 ringgit selling one T-shirt, it's at a loss, right? Unless my T-shirt cost me 10 cents lah. And delivery cost me a lot less than that. Doesn't happen that way, right? So you have a target. So say to sell a $50 T-shirt, your cost per conversion should be like, cannot be more than $7.50 or something like that. If not, then you don't make any money, right? Or you don't meet the target margin. So you have to look at what your cost per conversion is and what the value of sort of like the profitability around it, the ROI around it. And so then you also take like network targeting. So should you do more search? Should you use more display? So when should you use search? When should you use display network? When should you start bombarding people with YouTube ads, display ads and banners versus when you should use search ads? Sorry? Depends on what I'm doing. So if I'm a Lazada, I sell stuff on my online store, what network should I use? Sorry? Search? Okay, sure. I can do both. So if I do both, what would be the key determining factor of which one I should focus on? Or what are the factors that will lead me to say I should put more money in search, put less money in display, etc., etc.? So it boils down to my first question, which one should you use depends on what objective it is, right? So you have to always look back at how the user funnel works. Is it to introduce people, to find out new people who know you already, don't know you from Adam, who is it? Alright, people who already know you very close to buying, which one should you use? So search can cover from this, based on the intention of the user, the kind of keywords they key in, right? So if they say, I don't know you, I don't know what I'm going to buy, so it's a very early stage discovery process, awareness sort of thing, then you're buying keywords like cheapest smartphone or something like that in KL or cheapest smartphone in Malaysia or something like that, right? Or then maybe as they go lower, into the funnel, they know roughly what brand they want to buy, what model. They will say lowest price Samsung Galaxy S6, S5, or whatever it is, right? Then the intention changes, right? Then your ad copy also changes. So the first one may not have any pricing, doesn't have a model. The second one is model specific, probably has a price to make people click on the ad. And so that could be the way. And display could also be you can also be using display to create awareness, right? Which one do you think gives you more traffic? It's faster. Which one do you think gives you more traffic? Display, right? Because search is dependent on how many people are searching for it. So if you don't know about it, you're not going to search about it. So your traffic, although it's very targeted, is usually finite. Display sort of goes into people's faces, right? So if it's clear enough and it's attractive enough, then people will react to it and you click on it. Alright? So you can get more volume with display. The only thing is because display is sort of interrupting people, or is interruption marketing, your CTRs and all you typically lower. Okay? But at the end of the day, it boils down to the key metric, whether you're making money or not, which is which gives you the lowest cost per conversion with the highest ROI. So even you get lousy CTRs for display, your cost per conversion could be very low, and your ROI could be very high. So it depends on when. So you have to test all this out. There's no right or wrong in terms of, generally display does better, that kind of stuff. You have to test it out. So the first thing you learn about optimization is you don't know what the answer is, so you don't assume anything. Okay? So you have to run experiments to figure out what works, then only decide. Let the numbers tell you, rather than sort of making judgment without sort of knowing what the results really are. So you can also target location. So should you target narrowly within the city? You target the whole country. Sometimes it's not worth targeting the whole of Malaysia. If you're promoting a restaurant that's located in KL, why promote the whole of Malaysia? Do you know what I'm saying? Doesn't make sense, right? But if you're Lazada, maybe you want to target the whole of Malaysia because you want everybody in Malaysia to buy. You can even have a separate budget, a separate campaign that targets East Malaysia, for example. East Malaysia meaning Sabah, Sarawak, right? Maybe they don't have the kind of products in the stores there, so the people buy online. And so you want to do that. So you use the data to figure out where you should go. And so in the campaign, you can set up all this stuff. Language settings, scheduling of your ads, what kind of time it is, that kind of stuff. So bidding methods, I think you already learned all this already. I'm just repeating. What kind of bidding methods are there? Manual, CPC, cost per click. Do you have CPM in search? No, you only have CPM where? In display, right? How about CPV? Have you heard this term called CPV? Cost per view. That's only for true view ads in YouTube advertising. Don't get that in display. Well, you get it mainly in the YouTube section, the video advertising section, right? So in the Google display is usually cost per click and CPM. And you can automatic bidding. So how does automatic bidding do? Why do you have this automatic bidding thing? So when you need automatic bidding, what does Google do for you? What does it automate? Yeah, it automatically bids for you if someone bids higher than you. So of course you can cap it. Say let's say you bid at $1, but your ad doesn't show up because like the 9 other people ahead of you have bid it at like $1.20 and multiplied by the quality score, everything a lot higher than you. So your bid $1 is not high enough to get you to the first page. So you have to bid higher. So you manually go in there and bid already. So if you set manual bidding, that means if you get stuck in a position where you didn't bid high enough, and you only realize it at 9 o'clock at night, means the rest of the day your ads didn't show. That sucks, right? That means you lost opportunity. You lost revenue potential. Okay? So that's why you use Google to automate it and say, okay, I don't care what it is, you just bid for me. As long as it doesn't go more than $5 per click, I'm fine with it. So you don't have to go in there every single half an hour or every half an hour and go check lah, right? So you automate it partially. So you can also bid on impressions, as you know that, focus on conversions as well. That's using the conversion data. So how do you use conversion data? How do you get conversions in the first place? What do you do? What does conversion mean? Sorry? So like someone like sign up form or a transaction receipt page, right? So at the end of the page, you put the code, the conversion tracking code from AdWords in that page to signify that the objective has been achieved, right? And so that you know in AdWords that this ad gave you the sale or the sign up. So if you want to use conversion data to help you optimize your conversions, you have to set up conversion tracking, which is a piece of JavaScript. Does anyone know what a piece of JavaScript means? How many of you, I think there were some people here from computer science or something like that, right? There's some coders in the room. How many of you code here? Okay, do you guys learn JavaScript in school? Native JavaScript, not jQuery stuff. Good. Yeah, JavaScript, you need that a lot when you're doing all this digital marketing stuff, like Google Analytics and all that stuff. So if you guys, I mean, just a side point here, if you guys want to be really, really good digital marketers, you have to learn how to code a little bit. So you have to learn how to code, to know a little bit HTML, CSS, JavaScript, especially native JavaScript, okay? Anyway, move on. Location targeting. So you can always key in by city, you can always use the radius targeting feature, is that correct? Which I think I showed you that before. You can bulk upload all your locations into one campaign. Like I said, I normally don't have too many locations, unless it's, those are like city level kind of thing in the same language. I can have different locations, I'll put it in, or different coordinates are about located. But if you are doing different countries, I suggest you put in different campaigns. Why? Because in different countries, usually people speak different languages, right? So it doesn't make sense for you in one campaign. And in campaign, you can only, you can choose multiple languages in there, but like the ad, your ad sets may not know where to appear. It doesn't automatically know that your ad group, one is in French, one is in English, or the English one develops smart enough to go appear in the England one. It doesn't work that way, right? So, so if you're targeting different countries, put in different campaigns. But if it's the same country but multiple locations, so for example, if I'm Google Ignite and I want to promote the Google Ignite program in all universities in Malaysia, what I'll do is I'll get all the latitude and longitude numbers for all the colleges vicinity, and I'll upload that in there. And I'll just target people, the students who are actually located in that location. I could technically do that. But my ad sets, everything, and all ad groups are all, the ad campaigns are all the same language. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, so that's how you will use bulk locations if you want to upload multiple locations. So how are ads matched in by location? So there's one where it's based by your IP address. So what's the default setting? Can you remember? What's the default setting? The default setting is actually, as long as the person is searching for it or is interested in that particular location, and also if the person is in the location, it will show the ad. So even though I'm not physically located there and I'm searching for a gym in Petaling Jaya and I'm in Hong Kong, the ad shows. Or I'm using google.com.my in Hong Kong and I'm searching for gym, it may show, right? Just PG or something, it may show. So if you don't want that, you only want people to be in Malaysia, physically located in Malaysia, to be shown the ad, then you have to fix it at the second option, which is based on the IP address, which is by the location, device location. Do you understand? They don't mean the same thing, okay? Now, of course, there's a third option where you would just want people to target people who are searching for that location regardless of where they are. It doesn't matter what physical location they are. So you need to know these three distinctions because they're going to come out in the exam, right? So don't get tricked into knowing that it's just based on IP address. It's not. It also includes the option where the person is searching for the location or the person is using the Google website that's for that country, right? Google.com.my, for example. So something like this. Why would an advertiser targeting Malaysia see clicks received from Singapore? Yeah, the person is using .com.my, right? So precisely the option that I told you about, which they chose they are interested in their location, or they're searching from a Google website that's related to that location, even though they're in Singapore. Okay, so what is ad rank again? What's the equation? Ad rank equals to maximum CPC times quality score. Okay, so what's actual CPC then? You just move this one down lah. My math not very good one. Just here, you just move this one here. The actual CPC you pay is actually your ad rank of your next comparator divided by your quality score plus 1 cent. Alright? So you just have to pay 1 cent more than your comparator in terms of how much you beat them for your ad rank. So in this situation, Dave's ad rank is 10, his CPC is $1, the quality score is 10. So what he needs to pay is actually, was that the ad rank divided by quality score? Plus 1 cent, right? So 8 divided by 10 plus 1 plus 0.1. 0.01, sorry. So it becomes 81 cents. Okay, so it's ad rank of your next comparator divided by your quality score. Sorry. Okay, so what is the CTR? Click-through rate, what does it actually measure? Total clicks divided by total impression just shows how effective your ad is. So if you have a low CTR, how do you improve it? How would you improve it? Let's say, what? Okay, let me give you a benchmark of a good CTR. A good CTR usually is like 2% and above, 2.5% and above, that sort of thing for search. Okay? If it's really good, you can even get up to 20%. That means out of 5 times the ad shows, 1 person clicks on it. Or gets clicked on 1 time. Right, so why is CTR important again? Yeah, because it's the main component that measures your quality score. If your CTR is crap, your quality score is crap, and then you have to pay a lot more money. So CTR is very important because it actually shows you how relevant your ad is. When you look at relevance, that means whether targeting you're doing is correct. Number 1, that's one factor. Number 2 is whether your ad copy is good or not. So if your targeting sucks, but your ad copy is good, you still can get some decent CTRs, like maybe 1.5% or something like that. But if your targeting is good, right, but your copy is crap, again, your CTR could be low. So you need to fix both. So when you optimize, you have to have a constant. So let's say you find that out of all your ad, so you have to run different ad copies. When you have different ad copies, you will have different ways to see which ad copy works the best, and then you use the best ad copy to change your targeting. So you know that you can improve on the same ad copy, so you test it based on the same ad copy, right? That is the best one. So if you get from 2% for your best ad copy, it becomes 2.5%, then it's because you improve your targeting. Do you understand? If not, how are you going to know whether you're improving the targeting or your ad copy was being improved, right? So you need to have control, like you're doing experiments around that. Is that clear? Okay, so they will ask you these sort of questions, like how do you improve your quality score? You improve the CTR. And how do you improve CTR? You improve the relevance of your keywords or relevance of your ads. Or better ad copy, right? Stuff like that. Questions like that to help you think through how you make it better. What is another way of making your CTRs better? Yep, you can use ad extensions. Anything else? So CTR is actually this, right? Total clicks divided by total impressions, right? So you can either, you have to improve the number of clicks. You can have the same number of clicks and better CTR by cutting down the number of impressions, right? Irrelevant impressions, right? True or not? So how do you cut down the total number of irrelevant impressions? Sorry? You use different mesh types, right? So if you're all running on broad mesh type, it's very high, you've got a high chance that you're attracting a lot of irrelevant impressions and also possibly irrelevant clicks, right? So you cut down that, you use different mesh types. So so from broad mesh types, which is like this, women's hats, Ads may show when people key in women's hats, buy ladies' hats, a lot very, very different hats for girls, buy red hats for women, to make it phrase match. So women's hats, anything that has the word women's hats inside. So you cut down all the irrelevant ones in there, and you see women's hats, buy women's hats, etc. Okay. So when you cut down all this using things like exact match, you reduce your irrelevant impressions, then your CTR goes up. All right. So your CTR, once it goes up, obviously your quality score goes up. Okay. Broad match modifier. If you remember this, I went through with you last week. So this one is your ads only show when someone search contain those modified terms. So you put the plus in front of the keyword that you want to be present within the search to show. So like plus women's plus hats, that means as long as it has the word women's and hats in there somewhere, doesn't matter what order it is, it will show. Okay? This is actually a very powerful match type. Alright, so it helps you catch the key catchphrases or key keywords, regardless of the order. Right, okay, so conversion tracking. Again, can you remember what conversion tracking is? So for example, if you have conversion, it's basically when someone clicks on the ad, it lands on the landing page, it signs up and reaches a thank you page. You need to put the code in the thank you page to make sure that it tracks in AdWords. I would also like to tell you that if you have a tool called Google Analytics, you can also import the goals in Google Analytics into your Google AdWords as a conversion. Alright, so as part of your journey to being a digital marketer, the other essential tool you have to learn, which is not in the syllabus or in the course today, but you probably come across this tool called Google Analytics. It helps you measure your website, and it's pretty much like if you're doing accounting, it's like your accounting system. Whether it's MYOB or an ERP or something like that. So Google Analytics is the tool that helps you measure your marketing activities. Okay, so ad extension, this is an ad extension. Do you know each of these components, what they actually call? So a call out extension is this extra line here that says best rate guaranteed, blah, blah, blah. So it gives you an extra line, so you give your ad, it becomes bigger. This one here has multiple links, this is site links. So in this case, you have two extensions in one ad. Okay, sometimes certain extensions can appear twice like this, so different call out extension and site links together. Sometimes they only appear once, right? Social extensions, you can also have things like that here. With the Google Plus, if you have a Google Plus page. Then you have call extensions with the call number here. It's a call button here. That's usually, you can do it for mobile. Your location extension has your address in there. Okay, like here. Okay, so you get your extensions, your location extensions, you have to link your Google My Business account to AdWords. So your Google Places account, usually you set up a Google Places account, you link it there, you automatically pull in your address for you. Alright? So that's the prerequisite actually. You want to create a location, I guess you want to link all this stuff, get all the details quickly, you have to set up your Google Places account. Right, so if you look at how you want to optimize based on your objectives, so if you want to go on top acquisition, again, you fall back to the same equation, at rank equals maximum CPC times quality score. And quality score is made out of CTR, relevance, and the landing page. So what affects landing page quality again? What does that mean? Some more? Relevance? Yeah. Yep. So you need to have a good landing page experience as well. Okay. Sorry about that. So landing page quality also includes things like the speed of your landing page. The experience needs to be good. It doesn't interrupt, your navigation is good, stuff like that. Okay? And how does Google know whether your site sucks, your page sucks or not? Irrelevant. So what does the algorithm do? Yeah, it actually does analyze your landing page while, beforehand or at the point in time when you actually land on the page. Okay? Right. So let me ask you this question. If you have the same keyword appearing in two different ad groups, which keyword wins the auction and gets shown? Which ad gets shown? So you have two keywords. Sorry, you have the same keyword in two different ad groups. Which one gets shown? What's the criteria? Sorry? What have you learned so far? I'm not teaching you anything new. The one with the highest ad rank. Okay? So ad rank equals to maximum CPC times quality score. So if you're saying, let's say the keyword is red dresses. The red dress is in one ad group where the maximum CPC is $4 and the quality score is 2. And then you have another one, the same red dresses one, where the quality score is, where the maximum CPC is only 2, but your quality score is like 8 or something like that. Obviously the second one's going to show. So in a way, you're actually competing against yourself. Alright? But it's actually not an issue, to be honest with you. So it's always about may the best person win. So your ad is not going to appear twice, For each account, if you're bidding for the same keyword, you only show once from your account anyway. It's not going to show twice. So Google picks the best one and shows that ad from your account. Is that clear? Google also doesn't allow you to have multiple accounts buying the same domain. I repeat, Google doesn't allow you to have the same account buying the same domain name for the same keyword. I cheat like you go set up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I go 10 different accounts, buy the same keyword, get 10 ranking. True or not? You do that, they actually penalize you. You're not supposed to do that. Alright? So ad rank is your criteria. So I'm going to cover something new here. So we're finished with the revision stuff. So in case you were falling asleep and you're twiddling your thumbs, now we're going to do something new. So we're going to talk about invalid traffic and invalid clicks. All right? Have you heard of this? What do you know what an invalid click is? In your life, in your imminent career as a digital marketer, you'll be inevitably asked this question by your father or your future employer or your client. What if I go there and click all the ad? Then who pays for it? Oh, then I don't buy already, and my competitors simply go click and I'll pay unnecessarily, right? So obviously Google, what will Google do? Will Google let this happen? Of course not. If it let it happen, this business will collapse already. Right? So, so how Google deals with it is this. There are different types of invalid traffic. So accidental clicks that provide no value, such as a second click of a double click. These are like invalid traffic. So you'll be excluded out. Manual clicks intended to increase someone's advertising cost. That means, I said that someone intentionally go click your ads, doesn't like you, jealous of your company, kick your stuff, Manual clicks intended to increase profits for website owners hosting your ads. So imagine if you're one of the people who have a Google AdSense display ad on your website, your blog. So you want to make more money. So I ask all you, hey, each of you, my average cost per click making, for every dollar I make 70 cents. I pay you 30 cents, you all click one can. I make money or you make money also, right? So, all these things, Google has figured it out, or it has an algorithm, has a bunch of people, like a couple of hundred programmers dealing with this, if not 1,000, I don't know how many, but like a lot of people dealing with this. So these sort of typical invalid traffic actions are usually excluded from the calculation in your dashboard already. Okay? So in fact, you would see in your report, you will see the number of clicks that were invalid, but they are not calculated in your cost one, in your reports, right? So you're not charged for it. These are your typical invalid client traffics. The sort of what I call invalid traffic, the typical ones. Clicks and impressions by automated tools, robots, or other deceptive software. So these are usually sort of removed as well. Impressions intended to artificially lower an advertiser's click-through rate. Okay, this one's an interesting one. They have also dealt with that. So, what if there are obviously new things that that Google may not pick out, right? So I won't cover that later on. But typically the things that are generally 80-20 principle already taken care of, Google would have excluded it out of the report. So you won't even pay it, you won't even be shown in your dashboard, okay? The cost itself. So how does Google combat invalid traffic? It has automated algorithms which filter out invalid clicks in real time before they reach the advertiser's accounts. So it analyzes all the clicks on AdWords ads. It automatically discards clicks and impressions from known sources of invalid activity. It counts for the majority of invalid click detection. It also has offline analysis. That means people actually take data from specific websites on their own, so that are human beings in there, not just a computer doing it, who actually gather all the data and they do all the analysis for you. They will also investigate if you report somehow that you sense very strange activity going on your website. Or like there's a lot of weird sun traffic coming to your website, but these people don't look like human beings. They just come in for 3 seconds and then 2 seconds and then they run off, all within the space of like 1 hour, right? So it looks like a very obvious automated thing. Then they will actually check it out for you, right? So what happens if they check it out for you is, once they check it out for you and they find out that actually really there were some sort of shenanigans going on, it's like, okay, yeah, there's some idiot who's trying to screw you over, they actually will give you a rebate. Alright? So this rebate appears, and it's going to ask you an exam, okay? So can you guys pay attention? It's going to remove it in your billing. So it's going to give you a credit. So if the first part where they filter out using this automation stuff doesn't get through, it will actually remove it at the billing level. Alright? So it will give you a credit so that you don't, your credit card there will see a negative. You don't have to pay so much. So then maybe you were supposed to pay $100 and then they found out actually $10 of it was due to illegal activity. They will remove $10 from it. Okay? But sometimes false alarms may not be invalid traffic. So for example, people return visits, maybe making comparison shopping and they're clicking on the ad twice again because they backspace the search and then saw the same ad, go click again, right? Those kind of things are not really invalid traffic. Shared IP address, so sometimes where your ISP may assign you the same IP address to multiple users. So those are not necessarily invalid traffic. So you should look at the patterns already and then figure out if you need to make a report or investigation or not. But I say usually they will take care of it. So let's say there are two levels, all right? So I'm going to go into AdWords tools now. And actually I'm going to show you the screen itself. So this is your AdWords. If you open it, if you go to the tools section, they see a whole bunch of tools here, right? So if you're running an agency or you're running a team of people, or you're the client, if you want to see who has changed stuff in your accounts, you click on this thing called Change History. You click on Change History, it tells you who has changed what and what time it is and stuff like that, when they actually did it. So you can even filter out by different kinds of changes. For example, I'm going to put the last 30 days or something like that. So I can see who has changed. It's basically the same account holder changed the campaign. What did they change? They changed the maximum CPC, and this one changed the maximum CPC. Okay, so that was 2 days ago. Changed the broad exact match keyword, added and all that stuff. So when I look at this, I see someone is actually attending to it. So if I know someone, whether someone is doing their job or not, you can just go here and see whether they change anything or not. If they didn't change anything, means the guy didn't do the job lah. Okay? But also, it's also to see who made big mistakes, that kind of stuff. You know, change the budget from, they miss out like, instead of $100 daily budget, they put 1,000. That has happened to me before. When someone put in 1,000 ringgit daily budget instead of $100, and it's real money being spent. Okay, so I already had to pay 1,000. So like the client called me up, hey, how come yesterday I got like 5-6 times more traffic? Huh? You guys doing something weird or what? You know, someone missed a zero, right? It's very dangerous. So that's why it's very heavy responsibility. You can't be negligent. You can't be sort of slipshod when it comes to this kind of stuff. All right? You've got to be very detail-oriented when it comes to doing this sort. Because when you make a mistake, it's real money. All right? It's not masa-masa. That's kind of thing. Okay? Right, so this is a change history tool. The next tool I wanted to show you is the ad preview and diagnosis tool. So this one here, if you click on here, it says the ad preview and diagnosis tool at the bottom here. If you're clicking on that, what does this tool actually do? Anyone take a guess? What if you are given a task to find the top 10 keywords related to, mobile phones in, say, the Philippines or something like that? What would you do? Or look at the results, in the top 10 results in the Philippines for Google. You will probably go to google.com.ph or something like that, and then try to find, do it. So that's usually not advisable to do, especially if you're running ads. Why? Yeah, you're wasting impressions, right? So if your ad shows up actually your CTR is being affected because you're actually testing only. Right? You get lower CTR, right? Get lower CTR, then you pay more money. So you use this tool called the Ad Preview and Diagnosis tool, so you can choose the domain, which Google domain you want to be in. So, like I go to, say, Indonesia, and I can choose the language, Indonesian or something like that. Okay, and the location is, say, you're assuming that you're in Jakarta, right? So you're in, I don't know where these places are, but this province, and you're going to key in Samsung Galaxy, something like that, okay? And then it gives you the, say my ad's not showing, sure, so it gives you the results like that. So the person buying the Samsung keyword is Tokopedia. So Tokopedia is like an e-commerce website, right? Is there anybody here from Indonesia? No, everyone here is Malaysian. Okay, so yeah, so you can actually see. First of all, you can see what ad is running. You can see what are the rank, what are the results that come out. So you use this tool to preview your ads, especially when you're in different locations. So you want to see if you're targeting different locations and all those criteria. You can actually use this tool to test it out. So you see you're targeting people in Sabah, Sarawak only. Don't tell me you transport yourself, go take a plane there, Sabah, Sarawak, and test it out, man. Right? You're not going to do that, right? So you use this tool. Or you call your friend, hey, what can you see there? You're not going to do that. Alright? Actually, we used to do that. I'm not kidding you, before they had this tool, we actually had to call people up, like literally. Or you can go there and you can try to spoof it with your browser and stuff like that, but it's not very accurate. So the best is called, hey, what do you see there? You don't have to do that now. So if your ads don't show, right, you can actually run keyword diagnosis report here. So what happens? Well, anyway, I'm not sure why it doesn't have the button here, but actually there's a button here. Usually you click, it tells you whether you are bidding it correctly. But in my case, I didn't even bid for it. That's why you didn't see the ad. Sometimes if you are actually buying, say in KL, it's supposed to show. It doesn't show. It tells you why. Like it'll tell you why, because you didn't bid high enough or something like that. Okay. What's the next tool? Okay. Right, the next tool I want to talk about is the AdWords editor. Okay, the AdWords editor is actually it's a free desktop tool to manage your AdWords account. Okay. It's actually a client application, so you just download. I think I have one in my computer, but you can just download it into your computer. You can manage it offline as well. Means you can take it. You don't have to go on the internet. you can like in the plane or something like that, you will play around your campaigns and then you get internet connection, you just upload everything. But more than that, the AdWords editor actually has a lot more features inside there. There's a lot of features inside. Like you can automate things, like you can combine multiple keywords, all that kind of stuff in there. You can bulk edit, you can bulk delete all the keywords, upload keywords, all those kind of stuff, right? It helps you automate a lot of things. It can also help you export and import data from different accounts. For example, if you move accounts, so you can't like copy and paste one data into another account, right? So what you do is you export the whole thing out, you use AdWords editor, right? So it's basically like a power user tool, right? You can do bulk editing and all that kind of stuff too. Bulk edit means you can like for all keywords, search and find all keywords that says red, change it to blue, kind of thing, right? Or you had the wrong spelling in there somehow, you copy and paste it wrongly, and all the words said you misspelled the client's name from Kentucky Fried Chicken to Kentucky Fried Duck. You want to change the chicken to duck. You don't have to do one by one, go change. You know, you can do find and replace stuff like that, right? Or you put there, you just put fried chicken, you forgot to put Kentucky, then you can put a prefix. For all fried chicken keywords, please put a prefix of Kentucky in front, right? So you can do that kind of stuff. There is also a tool called the IP exclusion tool, where you can exclude your ads from being shown to specific IP addresses. Why would you need this? It's actually in your settings. Huh? Why would you need this? Why would you want to exclude your ads from certain IP addresses? Sorry? Yeah, your own company. So for example, if you're a big company, like, you know, you have like 10,000 employees, every day they turn on their computer and they go Google and they search your own company name, and then they see or ask some of them like, hey, apa ni, what's this? Start clicking on it, then you waste a lot of money, right? Okay, so it's going to be a problem. So you don't want to show it to people. Or you're a government department, imagine you have like thousands of people there clicking on your ad, right? Your own staff, so you want to do that, so you exclude it. So the IP exclusion tool helps you do that. But let's assume that you have a fixed IP. Alright, if you have like a dynamic IP thing, it doesn't work. So conversion optimizer is, I think you guys went through this before, but this is the other tool that helps you optimize using your historical information to find the optimal CPC for you. It also basically what it does is it uses your historical data and you set, if you have conversion tracking already, then you have enough data collected. You can choose the setting here and set your bids to say, hey, you know, as long, I don't care what the bid is going to be, as long it doesn't, it doesn't sort of exceed $15 or $18 where it is, I'm fine with it. You can bid as high as 5 ringgit for all I care, but as long as you get my conversion at 18 ringgit, I'm fine. So you still pay by clicks. It's just that they're using the data from the conversion data to help you target so that you meet a certain cost per conversion, alright? It doesn't mean that you pay Google 15 ringgit, alright? It just helps you measure that the clicks that you pay, I mean, maybe instead of 10, 15 clicks, you will try to make it at 12 clicks, the total, to make sure that your conversion is met at $15. That's what it does. But it only works if you have some history. And the minimum requirement is at least 15 conversions in the last 30 days. Alright? And you must have AdWords conversion tracking installed. And this, they will ask you 100% in your exam. Okay? So make sure you remember these 15 conversions in the last 30 days. So if they ask you, how come they can't select this feature, they don't have this feature, and that's because they don't have enough conversion data in the last 30 days, right? Or they don't have a conversion tracking installed. So what's the best practice for a conversion optimizer? You only use conversion optimizer on mature campaigns. So you use with a historical conversion data. So the more data you have, the increases the chance that you improve your ROI. The other thing you should also do is when you use the conversion optimizer, you should always start with the recommended bid. So if they recommend you 18 ringgit, go for 18 ringgit. Because if you don't, you bid 15 ringgit, then it may not you may not achieve the goals that you want because you already set the limit already. So you may not get your ad shown as often as it should be, alright? Avoid making huge changes to the campaigns. For example, replacing all your ad groups with new ad groups. Things like that. Don't make too much change in the data. It also may not be good for conversion optimization. It may not be good to turn it on during seasonal times. Like last few months, it's always sustaining this rate, and then Hari Raya come and screw everything up, go up, right? So the data will go a bit bonkers, right? So that's part of avoiding making huge changes in the campaign. In fact, you should not use that bidding when season comes. You just use by normal automatic bidding or manual CPC. Don't remove the conversion tracking code. So, because if you remove the conversion tracking code, it can't track the conversions. There's no data lah. The Google AdWords cannot use any data, right? It affects the whole thing. You should also compare your CPA and your conversion rate performance to gauge the impact before and after you use the conversion optimizer. So the conversion optimizer doesn't mean it will always give you good results right now, right? It's just a tool to help you optimize it. So if you find that you use it before, was you getting about 15 bucks, then you start using it, it's still in fact became more expensive, then don't bother using it and use by your old way of bidding it. Right? Conversion optimizer doesn't always mean it gives you positive results, because it has a lot of variables, like data is not accurate, a lot of change in seasonality and things like that. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to take a break. Okay, let's do some questions. Same drill like what we did last time. So what's the answer for this? How can marketers use websites to help them structure their accounts? Who says A? B? C? D? Which is the answer? Answer is B. Organize your ad groups to reflect the website layout. Anyone has got a different answer? Let's just say you can follow your website structure. What can be set at the campaign level? Who says it's A? B? C? D? Answer is C, network distribution, whether it's search or Google display, right? It's all pretty straightforward. Which of the below can determine the actual cost per click of an advertiser? What's the formula for actual CPC? Ad rank divided by quality. Ad rank divided by the next guy's quality score plus 1 cent, right? So pick the right answer lah. Who says A? Maximum cost per click of the ad is showing one position lower than yours on the results page. Does it really matter? Not really. Actual CPC is equals to ad rank, your ad rank divided by the other person's quality score, right? Plus 1, right? Plus 0.01, right? So no. Cost per impression of the ad that is showing one position lower than yours on the result page. Mana ada cost per impression punya? You throw that one out. Ad rank of the ad that is showing one position lower than yours on the results page. Yep. So see, what about the daily budget of the ad that is showing one position lower than yours? The daily budget is not included. Doesn't affect your ad rank, right? Budget. So answer is C. Right. Adding a plus modifier in the front of broad match keywords. Who says A? Indicate that the keyword should dynamically insert into your ad. No. Specifies that certain keywords must be included in someone's search term to trigger your ads. C. Show the keyword at the end of all your ads. No. Trigger ads to display the Google Plus social extension. No. Answer is B. Ahmad operates an e-commerce website. Where should he install the AdWords conversion tracking code? Who says A? B? C? D? Answer is B lah. Confirmation page after the transaction is completed, right? Which is the benefit of linking a Google My Business account to an AdWords campaign? Who says A? Better organic results for your targeted keywords. Location targeting will automatically include more regions. B. C. Your quality score automatically improves by 1 point. D. Adding or updating addresses in Google My Business. Which one is that? D. Right? You can update your address now, right? The Google Places one, the location extension will be important, right? If Google's automatic filtering system does not successfully remove all potentially invalid clicks, which is the next stage of detection in an AdWords account? Who says it's A? Okay, proactive offline analysis by the Google Ad Traffic Quality Team. B, third-party providers engaged to analyze traffic to the website. That's definitely a no. They don't use third parties. C, alert from the system to ask the advertiser to pause the campaign. No such thing, alert one, as you pause. D, advertiser makes a report on suspicious activities. That's the advertiser to do. It's not Google's job. So the best answer is A. Okay? So they actually go check the offline analysis. I told you just now was in the notes. They will actually manually check it. The people on the ground will check it. Question 8. Which tab section can advertisers see credits for invalid clicks within their AdWords accounts? Answer is C. I think I specified just now to you, right? If in the billing, they will have a credit. Question 9. What kind of click volume increase is likely to be immediately filtered from an AdWords campaign? The one that's automatically they will take out. They won't even affect your course one. Says A. B. C. D. Automated clicks lah. I mean the rest are like a mention from a famous blogger. I mean Google has nothing to do with this one, right? A press release, same here, Google doesn't care. Promotion, a hot selling product. Or promoting a hot selling product. What relevance does it have to the question? So it removes all the automated clicks, those people who write code to simply go cheat you, that kind of thing, right? So it's B. So Joseph uses AdWords to promote his online shoe store. While checking his web server logs for December, he notices he sometimes gets 2 clicks from the same IP address within a few minutes. The most likely cause of this is who says it's A. B. C. D. Best answer is D. Why? Well, it could be someone, like say, he or she is clicking on your ad and then went to another page, went to the page and then backspace, went back to the ad again to click again. So the guy is comparison shopping, you go to one website, go back to your website again, and they may have clicked on your ad again. Alright? Why not B, automated software is clicking on an ad? Because automated software usually would have I mean, it could be, but you know, like I said, really, it's not the main reason why AdWords is will calculate it for you. So usually Google will exclude all this stuff for you, right? Which would be a good practice when creating a campaign that is mobile preferred? So says A, B, C, D. This is B. Use a mobile optimized landing page. Target search network only, what does it do with mobile? You know, search network appears both in mobile and desktop. You press on all, right? You cannot choose one, right? Search, you cannot choose the device one, only display you can choose. You can target display network only. Use keywords like mobile and ad group, these are not relevant. I mean, how does it affect your, I mean, it could be a good practice, but like, B is a better answer, more practical. Use a mobile optimized landing page. Question 12. An advertiser in Thailand wants to view ads as they would appear to users in Malaysia. Which tool should this advertiser use to accomplish this? I just showed it to you just now, right? So, it's not like keyword planner. The keyword planner uses to check keywords out. Change history to see what people have been doing. Opportunities is, you know, to find, I mean, which we haven't really covered yet, but it's just to find sort of like what kind of opportunities you can buy ads on. Ad preview is a tool that you want to see how your ad shows in another country. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the slides, some flavor of the questions. Okay, so we did this a little bit, performance monitoring and reporting last time around, but I'll just sort of run through it again. You remember when you do reporting, your reporting is basically you got to modify columns and all that kind of stuff, right? You got to look at the dashboard and change the reports. So you can actually, when you're reporting, you use the graphs to compare two different metrics, like clicks and CTR. You can change like that, and then you can compare a CTR. You can see the two different trends over a period of time. Okay. And then you can also configure your reports, which I showed you last week. You can choose modify columns at whatever level is campaign level, ad group level, keyword level. You can choose the columns that you want, right? So you can add your quality score and all that kind of stuff in there. Remember, right? Add CTR and all these things. So now I want to introduce some metrics to you to help you see how effective your ads are. So the first one that I want to introduce to you is called search impression share. So what this metric actually means is the impressions you receive on the search network divided by the estimated number of impressions you were eligible to receive. So for example, if your impression share for a particular keyword is 100%, that means out of, let's say the ad gets shown 100 times, 100 times your ad actually gets shown. Whether it's 1, 2, 3 or not, I don't care lah, but it gets shown. So if it's not shown, say it's 95% or 90% your impression share, then you want to find out what was the lost impression share due to. Why did your ad not show, why did your ad only show 900 times out of 1,000 times or 90 times out of 100 times? What happened to the other 10 times? Is it because your budget wasn't enough? Was it because your ad rank was crap? That's why your ad didn't show, wasn't bid high enough? Ad rank equals the maximum CPC times quality score, right? So was it an ad rank issue? If it's an ad rank issue, then you need to deduce whether you're bidding high enough or whether your quality score was lousy, right? So that's what search impression share does. It just shows you whether you are even, your ads are even showing or not. If your ads are not showing, then you have to figure out, is it because of budget or is it due to ad rank? Okay. Another metric here is search exact match impression share, or IS. That means the impressions you receive divided by the estimate number of impressions you were eligible to receive on the search network, assuming that your third search terms are matched to your keywords exactly. That means how many of the keywords that the user keyed in were exactly the same, as what you actually bid for. So if your search exact match impression share is 80%, that means the user key in 80% of the time is actually exactly your match of the keywords that you bid. This is quite accurate lah. Okay? If your exact match search impression share is only like 10%, that means a lot of your keywords are all broad one. Okay? It's not targeted enough. Okay? And you can also export all this data out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you where all this is actually found. So I'm going to show you some keywords here. So I look at the top keyword. So this is a keyword. Say this one, catering to kawinan. If I look at the right, so there is no impression share here. So what I can do is I will look at columns, click on modify columns, and then find impression share. So find, can't remember where it is already. I think this one, comparative metrics. There you go, comparative metrics. Search impression share, you add, and then the exact match impression share, add it. And I'm also going to show you this search loss IS rank thing here. I'm going to add for you. Can I explain to you what that is? So if you look at it, so for say catering per capita, this one here, I want to look at it, what's my impression share? My search impression share is only 44% for catering per capita. Out of this, and so I lost how many? 60%, right? Impression share, right? So what it does, then the search exact match impression share is like even worse, is 0. Means all the keywords that my ads were showing up for was actually broad. That's why it wasn't any of the exact matches to this keyword. So it's actually a lot of these keywords were like broad keywords, right? They are not related to this. That's not good. But I also 30% of it I lost. Out of the 60%, 30% of it is lost to rank, at rank. If you see here, search loss IS due to rank means at rank lah. So 30% of it are lost to at rank. At rank is made up of? What's at rank made up of? Maximum CPC and quality score, right? So 31.22% was due to the either a maximum CPC or quality score or both lah. Okay? So if I want to look and see whether it's a quality score issue or not, I have to put my mouse over it and see what's my quality score. Okay, my quality score is 7 out of 10. It's not terribly, it's okay, but it's not super duper, right? Maybe my comparators are getting 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Could be. You see, maybe I'm not bidding high enough. It could be. So what I do is I increase this up. Okay? Because my quality score looks okay. It's not terrible. So I will increase this bit, so I will make sure that at least I'll make back the 30% here. But even if you would add back 44% plus 30% here, you need 70%, right? What do you think happened to the other 30%? Could be what? What other factor caused my ad not to show enough times? This is the keyword, I call this keyword lah. I'm talking about this keyword level lah. This is all keyword level already, okay? So, because I'm in detail inside the keyword level, it could be due to budget, which is that I didn't have enough money in the first place. That's why this keyword doesn't even show. So to see things which are, so at least the keyword level, you can see this impression share, all this stuff at the campaign level as well. But campaign level has an additional impression share metric called search loss impression share due to budget, which you cannot see here. It doesn't have here because keyword you cannot set budget, right? Okay, so if you go to campaign, similarly you look at the report here. So I have modified columns again. Click here. Look at, it looks the same, right? But it's not the same, okay? I'll look at maybe comparative metrics. Actually, I have all in here already. Loss impression share, see the impression share due to budget here. So I don't have to save it, it's actually in here. I can move. So impression share loss due to budget. You can see, I can't remember what campaign that was from. It could be this one. You see, there's a lot of it is 57.55% is loss impression share due to budget. Do you understand? So that means my campaign budget is not enough at 50 ringgit a day. So that's why it says limited by budget here. I have to increase it. If not, I don't have enough of my ads showing. Do you understand? So that's when you know when to increase budget at the campaign level, or if you go inside the keyword level, like for this one, whether you should be increasing your maximum CPC or improving your quality score by looking at the individual keyword impression share level. Alright? So if obviously like this one here, the search exact match is not good, I obviously have to change the match type because it's too broad. Or I put broad match modifier or something like that. Okay? Or I hold a whole bunch of keywords. Now, what if I want to see what keywords were being triggered by this keyword? What do people exactly search? Where do I go again? Where do I go? I taught you this last week, right? What report is that? If I want to see here, there's a search terms report here, right? So I click on that one. Or under, some of you may see keyword details. You see all the keywords that were triggered by that keyword, right? Very broad. So you see a whole bunch of stuff here. Actually, I can add all this inside here. Catering, murah, ampang, all this I can add as well. I can change the match type. Catering, murah. Doesn't have to be ampang like catering, murah, can we? Okay, I can add it like that. All right. So I can start adding all these keywords in there. So that's the search term report. So you can see, you can break down to see what people are really keying in. So I put that food caterer. This is all very broad. You should just pause it. Food caterer, it's not. Anyway, if I want to see what keywords we're keying in, search terms. Let's see all these bunch of keywords. Okay? These are all names or other caterers, which we probably want to exclude. Alright, let's go back to the slides. Okay, another report that you want to look at is the reach and frequency report. So you want to see, reach means how many people you have actually reached, how many unique cookies you actually reach, or unique browsers, right? So it's a proxy for how many people your ad actually appeared. Frequency is the average number of times a unique user sees the ad over a given period. Okay. So sometimes your ad shows to the same person over and over again. So if it shows too often, you may want to cap it. What is that feature called in display? It's called frequency capping. When you display advertising, you actually see that, especially when you do display advertising next week. So you can cap the number of times the ad shows to a person in a particular ad group or a campaign. Search term report is just what I showed you just now. You can see the search terms to add new keywords, or you find negative keywords like review or comparison. You don't want these people to key in review. They're not buying, they're just like reviewing stuff and exclude it out. Okay. So you can have a search terms report. You can do this like that. You can just go to details and choose. Or now it's actually the settings is straight away. There's a search term report there. You click on it. But previously it looked like this. You click on details and search terms. And then I think I'll show you last week the auction insights report, right? Remember? That one shows you like who's bidding against you, who's higher than you, and all that kind of stuff. So one more report I want to show you is called the search funnel report. This one actually shows you how your ads are being attributed. Basically, it just shows you the path that people take when they click on one ad before they actually buy. So sometimes when you click on an ad and then it results in a conversion, more often than not, they actually click ads from multiple campaigns. So they could click ad from the search ad, and then they left, and then they saw your display ad again, they click on your display ad, they came, then they saw your remarketing display ad or YouTube ad, they click, then only they buy. So sometimes you want to see what is the sort of the path between a path for the user before they actually bought, where did they actually click to. So there's a report called the search funnel report. Show you where that is. Because it's not going to be very long today. Like I said, this exam is really more of the application. That's why from a feature standpoint, it's pretty much the same stuff. It's just how you would manage the campaigns better and optimize it. It's really that kind of stuff, so I don't really need that much time. So I prefer that we finish early and you guys can ask me questions. And and you're probably better off spending time watching the videos and revising on your own. Okay. Alright, so just a little bit of recap again. What did we learn yesterday? I think we stopped at, obviously we went through different types of reports and things like that. I went through things like the impression share report, the search term report, the exact match impression share report, and I also additionally showed you things like lost impression share. So impression share essentially means, if it says impression share of 16%, that means your ads out of 10 times only show 6 times. And 4 times it doesn't show due to reasons such as loss in ad rank or your budget ran out. So your budget runs out at 12 o'clock noon. Obviously from 12 o'clock noon to the rest of the day it's not going to show anything because your daily budget ran out. Alright? So that's loss of impression share to the budget. You can only see it at a campaign level. And loss of impression share due to ad rank, you can see it at pretty much all levels, keywords, and a campaign level. Okay, so these reports help you optimize your campaigns. So you know you should increase the budget, improve your ad rank, which means increasing your maximum CPC or improving your quality score. And improving a quality score means improving your CTRs. So how do you improve your CTRs? How do you make your CTRs higher? What's the definition of CTR again? I know click-through rate, but what does click-through rate mean? Clicks divided by impressions, right? So you want to get a higher ratio of click-through rate. So like instead of just 1%, you want to make it 5%. What do? You either increase the number of clicks based on a fixed number of impressions, or you have a fixed number of impressions, you have fewer. Fixed number of impressions, you have more clicks, sorry. Or you have a fixed number of clicks, you have less impressions, right? So the less impressions means irrelevant impressions. You want to reduce. So what do you do to cut out all the irrelevant impressions? What can you do? If you don't want your ad to show to irrelevant people, what do? Why is your ad showing to irrelevant people? Pardon? Was it? Yeah, you change your match type. Sometimes your keywords could be too broad. It's just showing to, you're buying, you're selling apples online, and Apple computer, people looking for Apple computer, your ad shows up Washington apples or something like that. No one's going to click on your ad because they weren't looking for real apples, they were looking for Apple computers. You get what I'm trying to say, or the Apple iPhone or something like that. So you cut it out. It's either that, or you make your ad copy more relevant, so you becomes more relevant, more people will click on it. So you get more clicks, right? So things like that. How do you improve quality score? For, improve your CTR, your landing page relevance, your keyword relevance to the ad, stuff like that. Okay. All right. Then we look at some other tools to help you to optimize, like the opportunities tab. Where it's a tool that actually recommends to you, hey, you should increase your budget, you should put punctuation in your ads so it's better and things like that. So there's a tool called the Opportunities tab that does that. We also covered things like different tools like how to preview your ads. There's an ad preview and diagnosis tool. Okay. You can also, have a custom ad scheduling, like say, run it at different times for people and then increase the bids accordingly. So that's what I call a bid multiplier. The bid multiplier can be used to, you can say you're increasing it by 30%. That means it's $1 times 130%. If your default bid is that. You can adjust it upwards or lower, you can adjust it lower as well. Sometimes you want a bit lower certain times of the day because they can be expensive and they don't convert during certain times of the day, so you just bid lower, put negative 75%, negative 30%. Right, so we stop there. One more. So I'm going to continue this. So there's a feature called campaign experiments, and what I think I mentioned to you the last time I showed when we were here. So it's essentially you can actually create experiments in your campaign on your bids, your keywords, your ad groups, your landing pages, and stuff like that. So when you set up these experiments in your thing, you can always revert back to what you had before. So for example, in your ad group, you added like 10 other keywords in there, and then suddenly your ad group, performance goes down, and say, hey, I want to change it back to before, and just press a button and go back to what it was before. So it removes the experiment and makes it back to what it was before. Okay. So that's campaign experiments. The next thing I wanted to show you is what if you want to have your ads show the keyword you're bidding for inside the ad automatically. For example, if you want the word Samsung Galaxy S6 to appear, if that's the keyword you're bidding for, appear in the ad automatically, so you don't have to keep changing the ad copy based on what the bid keyword was. You can use this thing called the dynamic keyword insertion. So how it works is because you're going on the perspective that the more relevant your keyword is to the search, and if the keyword's in your ad, there's a higher CTR, right? So what you can do is you can automate this process called a dynamic keyword insertion, and it would then so what you need to do is in the ad copy, you have to key in this syntax, curly braces, open curly braces, keyword, and small key, K-E-Y-W-R-D, it makes a difference, okay? So I'm going to show you how you can use this caps thing. And then colon the default text. Default text means, let's say in the event, what's the limit on the headlines of your ad again? Of a search text ad? 25 characters, right? So it's always still governed by all those principles. So assuming that, let's say your keyword that you bid for, not a keyword that a person searches for, the keyword that you bid for, so you bid for Samsung Galaxy S6. If the keyword Samsung Galaxy S6 and then plus additional copy you put in your text exceeds 25, then you will go into the default text, right? So your default text could be if Samsung Galaxy S6 is too long, it could be just Samsung, right? So the default is just in case it gets too long, what is it going to be, right? So you need to make sure that the capitalization is correct. I'll show you why. Because there is functionality in the different if you put it so capital letters in here. So the basic one is open curly braces, keyword colon the default text. So it could be keyword colon Samsung, right? Then by default it will show Samsung. If not, it will show whatever the keyword you're bidding for, which is like Samsung Galaxy S6 or whatever phone that you have in there, phone model. So don't use any spacing when using the colon, just colon like that, no space. No, the keyword that triggered the ad will be used and not the search query entered by the user in dynamic keyword insertion. What it means is, let's say you bid for the keyword Samsung Galaxy S6, but the person who keyed in is price of Samsung Galaxy S6. Okay, so the ad, when it shows the ad, it's just going to show Samsung Galaxy S6, which is the keyword you bid on, not the keyword that the person searched for. Do you understand? So don't get confused and think that, oh, the person keyed price of Samsung Galaxy S6 in KL they will see price of Samsung Galaxy S6 KL in the ad because you're using this functionality. No, it's the keyword that you bid on. Right? The person searched it was because the keyword triggered that keyword that you bid. Okay, so don't get confused. Do you just understand what I said? Understand or not? Don't understand? Put up your hand. Say, I don't know what you're talking about. So, okay, let me repeat. So I'm going to give you this example. Let's say the keywords is dark chocolate. This is a keyword you bid on. There's a difference between the keyword you bid on and the keywords that the search query. Do you understand the basic principle, right? If you don't understand that, then I can't help you, alright? The keyword is basically maybe dark chocolate, but the search query, or keywords are sugar-free chocolate, gourmet chocolate truffles, but the search query is just dark chocolate or sugar-free chocolate, right? So if you look at different ad packs here, I want to use dynamic keyword insertion. I can put by, open curly braces, capital K, EY, capital W, ORD, and the default is chocolate, just in case this whole thing becomes too long. It's just going to shorten it, use this chocolate, right? So if I were to use, if someone keys in the word dark chocolate, the ad will still show by dark chocolate, because dark chocolate is one of the keywords that I bid for. Okay? But what if I put sugar-free chocolate, right? And if it's one of the keywords that I have here that I'm bidding for, it will also just use this buy sugar-free chocolate keyword. Okay? Now what if the search term here is sugar-free chocolate Malaysia? It won't show buy sugar-free chocolate Malaysia here. It will just show buy sugar-free chocolate because that is the keyword that I actually bid for. Is that clear? So that's how it works. Now, what if change the capitalization, right? So I'm going to skip this slide. What if I change the capitalization? So if I leave it all small caps, K, E, Y, W, R, E, then the word that you're supposed to optimize for your DKI, sorry, or you're trying to insert for your DKI, will also be small caps. Okay, red roses. The buyer is already there. Buy this, right? So this was automatically pulled from the keywords that you bid. Alright? Now if you put capital letter here, first letter, but subsequently the W here is small, you only capitalize the first letter. The subsequent letters don't get capitalized. So if you want to capitalize all the words, then you have to make sure you put capital letters K and capital W in here. Then you see by capital B, capital R again. First letter of each word. Does that make sense? Now if you put by K, capital E, capital Y, and then capital W, O, R, D, it actually makes all the letters in the first word capital. And then the second word, the first letter capital as well. Now again, people will say, hey, didn't you just teach me last week or share with me last week that you cannot put capital letters, all capital letters for the words, right? Yes, those rules still apply as well, okay? But sometimes Google allows you to have capital letters. If it's like the name of a brand or something like an acronym, they allow you to do that. So if your company is LKH Consulting or something, capital LKH, they allow you to do that. Is that clear? So all those rules still apply when you're doing this. There are no exceptions to it, okay? So if you book by capital K, EY, then capital R, O, R, D, then it's the second word that gets, capitalized. All the letters. Alright? So if you put capital everything like that, basically it means the same as this. By like this one, K and W, it will just capitalize the first letter of each word. Alright? just remember this convention, or this naming convention shouldn't be that difficult. But this one comes out in the exam, alright? And they will usually ask you something like, user X keyed in Samsung Galaxy S6 Malaysia, but your keyword bid for is just Samsung Galaxy. So what keyword shows in there? So buy Samsung Galaxy here, because that's the keyword you bid on, not the Galaxy S6 Malaysia, right? They ask you something like that. So you need to know what actually gets shown in the ad. Any questions here? Now this is actually quite a very useful tool. So what you need to do is when you write your ad copy, you just have to put in this text. Then you automatically pull in the ad group, you pull the keywords from the ad group. But the tricky part about this thing is, a lot of people don't realize that it's very dangerous to use this feature. If your ad group is not tightly constructed, like you're chucking in like irrelevant keywords in the same ad group, then you got a problem. Okay, like for example, like you can say you put buy keyword chocolate in here, and then inside your bid keyword, instead of chocolate, you go put that coffee or something like that, or or milk or something like that in there. Then the thing will still come out here, no? Put buy milk here, no? Because it's what you bid here. You get what I'm trying to say? It becomes irrelevant. I've seen some weird applications around this. And then sometimes what they put is they put in the brand name of the competitor inside. Because they're trying to beat the competitor, keywords, right? And then they really realize they actually had a copy that actually uses this function. Then you put there, buy your competitor's product. Or something like that, something ridiculous like that. That's shoddy work, that's very sloppy, So don't do that. So your ad groups must be very tight, right? And relevant. So your ad groups are all over the place, though. I advise you don't use this function, right? It will do more damage to you than good, right? So make sure the default keyword keeps to the character limits to fit into the ad, like I said, and make sure you have a short default keyword as well. Use DKI and display URL. You can use the DKI and display URL as well. So let's say maybe your ad text is a bit risky here because you're not sure. Sometimes what you bid for can be quite long. You can actually just put here display URL www.chocolate.com/ then you put the dynamic keywords. Okay, so your URL looks like / Samsung Galaxy S6 or something like that. So the keyword still appears, but it appears in your display URL, rather than the actual headline and stuff like that, or the description. Does that make sense? Then you can ensure each keyword makes sense in the ad when it's inserted. So keep ad group tight, like I said just now. Capitalization rules still apply. There's no excessive capitalization. The default text will appear how you write it, and it isn't affected by how you capitalize your keyword. So the default text doesn't really change, right? Only the words that were dynamically inserted change. I mean, this default text doesn't change. Okay, you put capitals, you put a small c here, chocolate, it will show small c anyway. It's not affected by this thing. Okay, any questions so far on how to do this? So this is slightly more advanced when you're trying to make your CTR. So how will you use this tool? You use it to make it more relevant so your CTRs get better, right? So what I've just run through with you yesterday, today on the tools and all, you have to kind of map it to what is the usage of it. Is it to improve ad rank, right? If you improve ad rank, is it part of bidding, or is it part of improving your quality score? If it's improving your quality score, which part of it? Is it improving the CTR, right? Or also means improving your relevance of your ad to the keyword, or does it help in relevance in the ad? Your keyword to your landing page, or it helps in the landing page optimization. So we haven't really covered anything on tools that help you with your landing page optimization, but apart from the quality score tool, or the quality score report. By the way, do you know where you can find the quality score report? Or where detailed information where quality score is? Remember? It's the modify columns, you can do that, or you can you can see in that big round balloon button, like here, or what call it, the bubble. It's like they call it a bubble or something like that. Like this thing here. You see this? That's one way to do it. Of course, you need to go in here, columns, and select modify columns, and choose the quality score report somewhere, which I already have. I'll show you where it is. Somewhere on the right hand side here, that quality score. See this? You have it in your columns. That's how you see it. Okay, no questions, I'm going to move on. So I'm going to cover this topic on how you actually grow your campaigns and how do you improve the performance. So very often when you run your campaigns for the first time, you don't really know what works. When I mean you don't really know what works, you don't know which keyword gives you the conversions, you don't know which keyword gives you the lowest CPC, you don't know which keyword gives you the lowest true rates. You don't know what keyword gives you the best conversion rates or the cost per conversion, right? So very often when you start on something, you're running experiments. You're running different ad groups, different campaigns, all testing different things. So maybe it's like the Samsung keywords if you're selling mobile phones. Maybe it's the competitor keywords. You're buying an Apple keyword or something like that, right? So you're actually just testing things out. So when you come to a point where you realize that a certain strategy, certain ad groups perform better than others. So what you do with the lousy ones, you pause them, you stop them. Or you know which keywords do well, you continue with those keywords. If it's crappy, you just exclude them or like pause them. So very much is that process of figuring out until you find the most profitable ad group first, or find the most profitable keyword, and then make them to the most profitable ad group, or ad groups, and then make them to the most profitable campaigns. That's how you sort of work yourself up. When I mean profitable, it means for every dollar you spend, you're making a profit out of it, after your cost, right? So I'm not just talking about your ad cost, I mean the cost of your product and all that kind of stuff as well, right? How much if you're selling the handphone, what was the cost of buying the handphone stock in the first place, and then you're selling it, you're getting a margin, and you're still making a profit out of it. So the good thing about online strategy is online tools like Google or all these other online digital marketing tools and platforms is you can actually measure it. So there's this very powerful quote by this advertising legend, John Wanamaker. He says, half the money I spend on advertising is wasted. The trouble is I don't know which half. Basically it means most people don't know what they're spending on. They don't know what really works. Okay? So one thing good about online marketing, if you do it well, it helps reduce this sort of errors. Because you can sort of figure out what works and what doesn't work. And then you throw out what doesn't work. So in online you can measure easier. So the profitable starts of a campaign can be separated from those that are not. The parts that are not working can be refined or removed to make it better, right? So for example, if you find out that, the competitor strategy name doesn't work, okay, maybe the best one that works is the closest competitor name, right? So who's the closest competitor to Samsung? Sorry? Apple. Maybe the Apple keywords are the best. The others are not really working, right? So maybe you just have an ad group and a campaign that just does Apple. That's it. Because the rest you just throw away because you already know it doesn't work. What I mean it doesn't work means it doesn't give you any good click-through rates. It doesn't give you any conversions, right? Conversions means could be sale or sign up. So what do you mean by scaling your budget by performance? So if you spend $100 and you make $500 from profit, right? So you know that every time you have a consistency around that campaign, you spend $1, you churn up 5 back. You can then increase this now. You increase to 200. 200 will give you 1,000 lah. 300 will give you 1,500 lah. I mean, that's the ideal. You can scale it because you have a particular kind of formula around it already, right? So until you get that formula, you can't scale it because you don't know whether it's consistent enough or not, right? So how you go about doing this, you have to kind of again go back to the objective of your campaign. So the first one, if it's your campaign focus is profit, right? Then if your campaign is unprofitable, the budget limits the losses. So you use the budget to make sure that you don't lose money on it, right? So the action you take is you improve performance by optimizing your bids, your keywords and ads until the campaign becomes profitable. So if your campaign is unprofitable, that means somewhere along the line your keywords too expensive, wrong keywords, your ad copy is not working well, and all that kind of stuff. You work to the point where, hey, for every click that you get, or every 10 clicks you get, maybe you get 1 conversion, right? So you have to optimize that. So you change. So if your campaign is profitable already, means in your campaign, you spend $1, you're actually making more than $1 lah. $1, 1 cent, $1, 2, or $1.50, or whatever it is, profit. Then you can actually improve performance by just increasing your budget exponentially, or directly increasing your budget. So when you do that, then your campaigns, because it's profitable, will just make you more money, right? So in those cases, those are what they call your budget will become unlimited in that sense. Why is your budget unlimited? Because for every dollar you put in, you make money from it already. Correct? So you can put $1, $2, $3. Your daily budget is not limited by the fact that you're not doing well, right? So that's where ultimately you want to kind of go, right? So if a client says, what budget should I go for if all your campaigns are profitable? You just ask them, how much money do you want to make? Right? How much cash flow do you have this month? Ultimately, if you can do that, then you're just limited by cash flow. Isn't that powerful? I mean, like basically, then you just have to throw money in and you make money already. Because easy to say lah. Doesn't happen very often, but can be technically, right? Can be done. The second is if you have a campaign focus that's on exposure, that's all like branding and stuff like that. So if getting clicks is a higher priority than getting the ad position, the depleted budget will be due to your high cost per click. So you want to make sure that you want to get as many clicks as possible, then you're going to lower your CPC bids to increase the clicks. So your goal will be to make sure that your CPC is as low as possible, so you get more clicks. If your goal is to get as many clicks as possible, right? Some people, they choose ad position. That means they always want to be number 1. So the thing about Google is, Google doesn't allow you to choose your ad position as in number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, that sort of thing. It allows you to choose position that you either become number 1 or you don't. There's no in between one. You can't choose number 3, number 4, like that one. All right. But some people want to do that. There are functionalities around that where you can bid and say that I want whatever it is. I want to bid to be to make me number 1 on the page. So you can bid as high as you want, right? In that case, obviously your budget will deplete because you run out after a while. So you have to look at what is the objective and think how you would go about optimizing it. Alright, so if your goal is getting clicks, I said, focus on getting your CPC down. So how do you improve your CPC? How do you get lower CPC? Right? Yeah, well, I guess you can. I mean, the actual CPC, you get a better quality score, you pay less, right? Other ways of getting your CPC lower on average, or your total, let's say you have 100 keywords, how do you get the total cost of the 100 keyword clicks to be lower on average? So generally, the longer tail, if your keywords are not popular, they don't usually cost very much, right? So don't buy broad keywords and common keywords that much. If it's very competitive, then no point buying those if they don't give you the kind of ROI you need. Yeah, so yeah, you can also change it to different match types. So you change your match types, then your CPC can be lower because you're only matching a very specific keyword. Right? So that will help you reduce your overall CPC cost for your campaign. Okay, anything else you wanna ask me? So if your business objectives have both goals of maximizing profit and exposure, create different campaigns for each goal and allocate the budget accordingly, right? So it's very difficult to have one campaign that does both things one. It doesn't make sense. You can't say I make profit and then at the same time I want to get a lot of clicks. It doesn't. If you want to make money, you're profitable, then you cannot say I want to get as many clicks as possible, because it's likely that you're not going to make any money because you're getting more clicks. So you split your campaigns up. So one is to get more clicks for exposure, one is really to make it profitable. And remember I said if you have even the same keywords in your ad, how many times will it show? Same keywords in your account, how many times will it show? And how many of your ads keywords will actually show at any one time? Just once. Because it just picks the best one at rank. So if you're running something like that, you've got to make sure that your keyword, if you're doing for the profitable one, you decide which keyword, which campaign you want to go put inside lah. You don't put one keyword for clicks, one keyword for campaign, then you're fighting each other, then you don't show the keyword in the right campaign that you want, right? So talking about conversion rates and bid prices and cost per acquisition. So based on the study that Google conducted, conversion rates don't vary much with ad position. So it's important to remember the following trend. So increasing bids will generally provide more conversions at a higher average CPA. Okay. So if you increase bids, at least you're getting conversions, but it will be higher CPA, right? Decreasing bids will generally give you fewer conversions at a lower average CPA. Okay, so you need to balance out what you want. You want a quantity, or you have a fine balance. Increasing bids while limited by budget will generally result in fewer conversions at a higher average CPC. What does that mean? If you're limited by budget and yet you increase your bids, you still stopped by the amount of budget you have, right? Actually, usually results in fewer conversions. Why fewer conversions? Because I think your clicks become more expensive, and your cost per conversion obviously goes up. So generally, what you want to reach is you want to be able to come to a point where your budget is enough. You're not limited by budget. But your bids don't really need to increase that much anymore. So it's a case of you just increase the budget, you make money already. You don't have to increase the bid so much, right? Because if you increase the pitch, usually your cost per conversion will go up already. Okay. So the key is don't sell yourself short by being stingy with the daily budget. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So like I said earlier on, prioritize your business objectives. If you aim from position 1 to 3 and then maximize profits, and position 4 gives you the highest profits. Everybody has a different goal, so you need to choose which one's the most important, right? You can't just do everything. So this is a scenario. So let's say you want to achieve profitability at the ag group level. So the most basic level is what level? There's account, campaign, ag group, and then within the ag group you have the keywords and the ads, right? So the lowest level is obviously the keywords lah, the ag group level lah. Okay. So the logical structure, the lowest component where you can make yourself group your initiatives together is your ad group, right? So you want to see which ad group, say, makes you the most money. So ad group 1, for music mixing software keywords and ads, the cost per acquisition is $35. Then there's ad group 2, the music production, the cost per acquisition is $85. Then music editors, the cost per acquisition is $53. So how you determine profitability of this? These are all quite different products anyway. You have to see the value of your product and net it off, right? So let's say you're assuming the conversion value for each of these is the same. So for ad group 1, $50 minus the CPA, the cost of getting one sale, is $15. All right? The second one is 50 ringgit minus $85, that gives you negative 35, so it's a loss, right? And then you have the third one is 50 ringgit minus $53, is going to be a loss of $3, right? So what you need to do is, for the first one, you're already profitable, you increase the budget for growth because you're already making money, right? Ad group number 2 is still loss-making. Then you have to look at what's happening. Why is it loss-making? Obviously, there are some keywords there. A lot of keywords are not giving you conversion. You stop those, right? Or you change the match types and things like that, right? Or add more better keywords and things like that. Same goes for ad group 3. You're not making money. You have to evaluate your keywords, right? To see which is a crappy one. And which report will you use to evaluate those keywords? You use reports like you're looking at your keyword report, right? What you're bidding for, and then you look at the search term report. Remember, the search term report actually shows you exactly what people are keying, and that's where you find negative keywords and adding more positive keywords. So search term report helps you find all this stuff to evaluate so you can get better performing keywords, and hence make your ad group more profitable. And once your ad group more profitable, then you increase the daily budget at the campaign level, right? Your budget gets increased at what level? The daily budget. Campaign level. Huh? Budget is always campaign level, right? I taught you this already, okay? So that's how typically you go about into an account, right? Not sure why so many people are calling me. Wait a second. Hello? Yeah. Yeah, I'm inside the training now. Sorry about that. Just in case some emergency or something. Alright, so give you an idea, if I go into my slide, I go into AdWords right now. If I would have an AdWords account like that, you know, I would so I will look at each ad group and I will see which one has the most conversions or something like that. So you need to know what your break-even point is. So for lead generation, is obviously you need to impute a particular value to your conversion value, right? If not, how are you going to know whether it's profitable or not? If it's an e-commerce website, it's very straightforward because you know you're selling something and you're getting like $100 or $150 because there's a, they pay online, you get it. But what if it's a lead, like a phone call or something like that? So maybe you can talk to the client and then you figure out, hey, normally out of 10 phone calls, or how many phone calls do you need before you close one real customer? And when you close one real customer, how much money do you actually make? So let's say you are like a spa operator or something like that. You have spa treatment for ladies or whoever it is who needs a massage or something like that. So that's how much does a spa cost? I don't know. Do you guys go for spa? The legit ones lah, not those dodgy ones lah. Like a Thai massage or something like that. So Thai massage maybe is like 150 ringgit or something like that, right? A good one, right? So 150 ringgit full body massage or something like that. And so they make 150 ringgit. So don't make it complicated. Just make it say the value is 150 ringgit. And so maybe to close this $150 one customer, maybe you need so out of 10 phone calls, or maybe out of 5 phone calls, one turns into a customer. All right. So if you or 5 form fills, whatever it is, 5 inquiries. So you have a ratio, right? So I have to get 5 phone calls to get $150 revenue, right? So then you have to figure out how many ads will give you 5 sign-ups or 5 phone calls, right? So maybe to get even 1 phone call, you need 10 clicks, for example. To get 5 phone calls or 5 form fills, multiply by 10, by 5, that's like 50 clicks, right? So 50 clicks will give you 5 phone calls, or 5 form fills, or something like that, right? So you work backwards, how much money does that cost you, right? So similarly, like this, let's say my budget is sort of like 25 conversions here. So maybe I'm just going to use the last 30 days or something like that. Okay. So there's not that many here, but so let's say for catering. So catering can be quite large, can be quite profitable. So we had like 6 conversions in the last 30 days. Just form fills, doesn't count numbers here. Like 6 conversions, and let's say I only need 1 customer from these 6 conversions to make 1 customer for a wedding. How much do you think a wedding costs? How much money do you think you can make money from a wedding? On average, a Malay wedding. Yeah, probably 60,000, right? I mean, like it's quite a lot of money. Chinese wedding also quite a lot of money, right? Right? A Malay wedding is like probably 60,000 ringgit. So if you close 1 customer, your conversion value is 60,000 ringgit. Right? So if I know that out of 5 I normally close 1, how much did they spend? 830 ringgit only. And if they close 1 here, 60,000 ringgit is nothing. Of course, you need to cut off all the costs and all that kind of stuff. It's probably like a 50% margin business anyway. So like it's probably make 30,000 profit. So what's $800? Nothing, right? So if you know what your target is, then you can work out which ad groups to go for, which are the most profitable ones. So the cost per converted click, like this one's $430, this is $120, for example. This $4 and this one's $4.39 because this is the brand name, right? So, but like these ones, I'm happy to pay $100, $200, $300 per conversion. Real customers, right? So you optimize it that way. So actually, if these are all profitable, I should just increase, and this just at the ad group level, I should just increase it for this campaign. Right? I've got other campaigns as well. Right? So as long as you know what is your target value and how much cost you're paying, cost per conversion, and which ad groups are giving you those conversions, and then roll up to which campaigns give you those conversions, then you just increase the budget for that, right? So in this example here, most of the campaigns with the exception of one, are profitable because they are closing. On average, I mean, like for maybe these two are not profitable. One, actually, the ratio is about 3 to 1. They close about 3, they're profitable already. 3, this is profitable, this is profitable, this is profitable, this is profitable. This one's not. These two are not. This one needs to require some work, right? Because it's new anyway. Right? You just need to estimate what that is, and then go inside the detail of the ones that are not working well. Like this one, I need to look at this one here. Look at the keywords, and then, okay, what keywords are the crappy ones? I need to cut down. So some of these, like, not even showing up, the quality score is low, and stuff like that. I need to fix it, right? Like all this, is all irrelevant. I'm gonna pause this. Right, it's all irrelevant actually. Okay. Any other questions? No? Okay. What I want to do is I'm going to pause this campaign. Okay, I'm just going to move on. Right. So I want to cover this topic called the Google AdWords API. And this is sort of like an advanced topic. So we went through how you optimize and all that kind of stuff. Now we're going to talk about slightly more advanced features as you get a little bit more sophisticated. So the AdWords API, the API means application programming interface, right? It just means it's a way for you to talk to server. So what the Google AdWords API allows you to do is allows you to build applications that interact directly with the AdWords system. So means you don't have to use that dashboard. You can create your own software, and you maybe have a methodology of figuring out how you can run your ads better, bid better, or things like that, or faster way to select keywords and all those things. You create your own software and then you just plug it in, right? So the AdWords API allows you to do that. Of course, you can also use it for reporting purposes, take data out, and that kind of stuff. You can also use it primarily to create campaigns automatically. So a lot of companies in Silicon Valley, what they do is they actually build systems to run all these campaigns in a highly automated fashion, right? So like, they will sell it for, a lot of money, and then large companies will use it and things like that. Right, so all you need to know is there's such a thing. I'm not expecting you to write a software or something like that, but if you can, if you're a programmer, play around with it, it's okay. You just need to get an API. So the first thing you need to do is you need to get an API key, right? And it's actually not that straightforward to get an API key. To get a key, that means you get permission to use this system. You have to be an AdWords spender. Right, you need to spend some money in AdWords. I think it's minimum $10,000 US or something like that. But if you do know any people in the Google developers circle, and you say you want to kind of create something, and they may actually give you access to it. So it depends on who you actually know as well. So if you do get into this system, you need to understand that obviously you're testing all this stuff, you need to have a sandbox. Basically a sandbox is an environment where you test your campaigns. So not using real money lah. Okay, and your ads don't show up in the real ad system. You'll be like screwing around with real ads, right? So there's a test environment called the sandbox. So can you remember what this sandbox is? Because it may come out in your exam, alright? Just know that the test environment is called sandbox. And that's where you test. Once it works in the sandbox, then only you roll out into the real world and you start using real money to buy ads, alright? Is that clear? Okay, one more thing I wanted to show you is there's something called the multi-client center. Alright? The multi-client center is basically this. If you're an agency, you need to have an account called the multi-client center to link to multiple accounts. So this is an example of a multi-client center account. So you can link to multiple companies under one umbrella agency account. So the good thing about my client center is different from the AdWords editor, okay? The AdWords editor is an offline version of your dashboard, but it's more powerful. You can change keywords, you can do bulk edits, that kind of stuff. The multi-client center is more of it's sort of like a management tool to manage multiple clients. So you can create new accounts here and stuff like that. You can link new accounts and manage multiple clients, right? So they can link to you under one umbrella. And then using the multi-client center, you can also assign your own team members so they can actually access the different agencies. So how it works is basically if you add to, let's say the three of you in front form a AdWords marketing agency to make some money. So you can all park under one account. So three of you can set up your own, what I call the MCC account. And then there's one umbrella account. So you can link all three or two, whoever's under you, one account, or three of you in one account. And then I'm the client, I will link to whichever project manager, which account is managing me. And then whoever's in charge can see through any of your account, my account details. So you will, if they get another 5 more accounts, they could just plug into the individual MCC account. So there's an umbrella that you can see. Alright? So that's what most agencies do. So if you join an agency, that's what typically they do. Right? You don't add them through this. If you go to some of these accounts here, for example, like here, you don't add them through this section here, where you have account access, remember? The account access, you usually don't add individuals in there. When your account, like this here, account level here, account settings, see under account access, you don't add users here like that. Okay? You will add under the client manager section like that. You will don't add individual people to manage your clients. Add MCC accounts. Alright, so don't use your normal Gmail account to manage a client's account. Because individuals can only manage one AdWords account. So if you're an agency, you have to use a special multi-client center account to link to many. Don't use your own individual one because the one maximum can only link to one AdWords account. Right? So that's, in a nutshell, the multi-client center. That's what it is. Just helps you. It doesn't help you create like 100,000 keywords or anything like that. That's more like the AdWords editor's job, right? MCC is more to manage your clients. Okay. Any questions? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a case study to do in the next half an hour. And what I want you guys to do is so I'm going to pretend I'm the client. So I'm basically this client, Nuriza Catering. which I already showed you and we've been working on. So I have a form here, and I have a phone number here. Okay? So I'm your client. Can you figure out what are the things that you need to do to get this campaign up from beginning until it goes up? It starts like running. What will the steps be in coming out with this? And then what you need to do is you need to tell me step by step what are the key areas that you will cover as a consultant, and tell me what your scope will be, and then then let it run, right? So I'll give you a rough idea of what I require from you. So give you a snapshot. So obviously I'm not using this example here. So you need to tell me what's the goal, right, of the campaign. What will your rough settings be? Give me some idea of what your ad group ideas are. What are the sort of keywords, ad copy considerations, and landing page consideration you look for? And what else do you need to make sure that you're tracking conversions properly and that kind of stuff? Alright, so can you guys do that? So take 10 minutes to write down on a piece of paper what are the key things from what you just learned from the last, I don't know, how many sessions have we done already? This is like our fourth one already, right? So the last 4 sessions, can you sit down and like you're a professional, write out a proposal? What are the things you need to do? I'm not asking you to do keyword research right now. I'm just asking you what are the steps you need to do. And what will be the settings you need to consider roughly. And then basically have a project plan. Alright? Come up with a project plan for me. So we'll revisit this in about 15 minutes, so about 7:35. Okay, so I'm the client, so what are you going to do for me? You guys worked out something yet? So what's the first thing that you need to think about when you look at the website, something like that? So weddings, right? So it's pretty straightforward. What's the first thing? So why are we doing this exercise for? Sorry? What's the conversion? Sign up, right? Sign up or call this number or something like that. Okay? So an inquiry. So the objective is inquiry. So what else will you look at from Google AdWords? What would you ask me if I'm the client? Budget, right? How much money am I going to spend for this? No money, no talk, right? So then my question back to you is how much will I spend on what you say? Depending on my product. Right, so let's say you're running it for the first time. Usually the budget is basically, your first budget is usually the experiment. So you set what you think is a good sample size for you to figure out what works. So is that 1,000 ringgit, 2,000 ringgit? I have no idea. Whatever the client can afford lah. Okay? But not too little lah, right? Because you don't know, if it's too little then you can't. So the way to figure it out is you have to find out the approximate cost per click for the keywords that you have, right? Is that correct? Then you need to work out how many clicks you're probably going to get enough data, right? So if you, let's say you need 1,000 keywords to actually figure out what works or what doesn't work, then you have to budget how to get 1,000 clicks up. So what tool is that you use? Which tool helps you figure out how much the keyword costs and what keywords you should be buying? Which is the tool you use to find keywords? The keyword planner lah. The keyword planner helps you figure out what keywords and then you put into the ad planner, right? The keyword planner, it tells you what's your budget, how many clicks you're going to get, remember? It actually tells you, you put your budget, you put your bids, and whatever it is, it works out for you one. Right? So you use the keyword planner, and the keyword planner helps you budget as well. So you know how many clicks roughly, then you can tell the client, yeah, I need 1,000 ringgit. Because the estimated cost per click is about, on average, $1. Based on the keywords, the rough keywords that I put in, like 100 keywords, where it is. That's my estimate. So you need 1,000 ringgit a month. Okay? So you figure out what the budget is, then what else do you do? You need to find out what if I'm the client. What's in your settings? What do you need to set all these things up? So, right, location lah, where is it going to be? Malaysia, Indonesia? Obviously not Indonesia lah, it's Malaysia lah, right? I mean, like, which part of Malaysia? Whole country? KL only? Shah Alam only? Or what? You know? You need to know exactly what location it is, what's the demographic of the customer, the end user who's going to use it. So figure out what location it is, then figure out what language it is, right? Aren't these all in your campaign settings? What time should you go for? All those things you have to you test. Is it on the weekends do you think we should go for? What hour of the day is it? Right? So that's your basic campaign setting. What else campaign extension you can do? Maybe you want to use ad extensions, put a phone number or not. Do people need to go to your office to figure out where it is? So you make sure you add it to Google Places. Link it to your Google Places or Google My Business, wherever it is. Google Plus, yeah. Set all this up for them, right? All the different ad extensions, location extensions, call extensions. Are they going to use mobile? Are demographic people going to use mobile? Right? So in search, it's all devices anyway. Do you need to bid more for mobile? Do you need to track all those kind of stuff? So after you set it up already, then you need to think about what, after campaign level, what's that? What level is it? The ad group level, what's in the ad group level? So you need to know how to set up your ad groups, right? So campaign level, what kind of campaigns you want to set? You want to set by, you know, maybe campaign you want to put budget by different demographic, Malay language versus English language or whatever it is. I don't know how you want to set your campaign, it's up to you. Then you have your ad groups. Ad groups will be, work out what the keyword is and what the ad copy will be for those keywords, right? So it will be keywords like catering and stuff like that, you know. Then your ad copy needs to talk about that. Your ad copy needs to have a headline. It needs to have a description of the features and benefits of the service, right? Maybe it's a call to action, right? So maybe they're having a promotion for per person is only 7 ringgit and 50 cents or 5 ringgit and 50 cents per person or something like that, right? Per pax. Put the pricing there, and then call to action. Land on the page, and then they sign up. Right? So create multiple ad groups. So after you create the ad groups, what do you do? Yeah, assuming that you come out all the keywords, then what do? You miss out something. You have to put something in to track your stuff, right? You need to put in your conversion tracking, right? So you need to take the code out and then put the code, conversion tracking code on the thank you page of the site. Does that make sense? And then you can track conversion tracking, and then you can look at all the data to track your campaigns over time, right? So figure out where's the point when you get break even for your campaigns. So if you get 5 leads, and then you think you close one, then your break-even point, or you have minimum 5 leads, then that's your break-even point. So anything more than 5 leads, your campaign is profitable already. Then you figure out which campaign is giving you 5 leads. Anything less than that, cut it off, or you need to optimize some more. So you need to have that KPI yourself. You don't know, then you don't know when to stop, right? Or you don't know when the client would think it's worth their while. So that means you have to calculate what the conversion value is and what's the cost, the highest cost of conversion that you need to maintain, right? If not, it's not profitable. What's the highest cost you need, cost of when you can get 5 leads in, right? Does it exceed the $60,000 wedding, all right, or $30,000 profit wedding, right? So you need to know what it is. So usually high margin things like weddings or like houses and stuff like that, it's not about the volume one, it's just, you just have to hit one guy and he actually makes it, right? But it's very different for lower value things. Like you're selling a t-shirt, that's different. The conversion is only like worth 15 ringgit profit. And your cost per conversion is 20 ringgit, loss making already. Right? So those are tougher. Right? So you have to make sure that your cost per conversion, and usually those kind of products, you're not looking at just one purchase. You're looking at people buy over and over again. So it's not just, oh, my cost per conversion is 10 ringgit, but of 20 ringgit, but the first purchase is only 15. It doesn't work that way because you actually expect this person to buy at least like maybe 3 items over the next 12 months. So 1 year it could be profit of 45 ringgit. And so if you spend 20 ringgit just acquiring them over the course of the year, it's still profitable. That's what I call customer lifetime value. Alright? So things like that. Any other questions? API? What about API? What's it? The benefit on API? Like I say, if you're an advanced user and you want to create 1,000 campaigns with 100,000 keywords, are you going to use the dashboard to create it? Or even the Power Editor? Power Editor maybe can up to 5,000 keywords or something like that, or 10,000 keywords it makes sense, but like 100,000 keywords, the iOS Editor can't even handle it. It's too laborious to do it. So you use a tool like the API to create these campaigns. It's large, very large scale campaign creation that we use the API. Do you understand? So that's the benefit of the API. So the difference between the iOS Editor and the API is like scale. Like iOS Editor is maybe up to 10,000 keywords kind of thing, you know, or hundreds of campaigns. That one API literally handles thousands. Do you understand what I mean? Like thousands. So you know, that's the difference. So if you're like a global company, like you have your Amazon.com or something like that, you use something like that. You run it all over the whole world kind of thing. You use an API. You won't be sitting down there playing in a dashboard. You won't be one guy playing a dashboard for like 50 old countries, okay? You probably have like maybe 20 people working on it. Any questions? If not, then you guys know what the drill is. You should always read your videos, watch your videos. I don't think there are any exercises in there. Actually, I finished all the exercises with you yesterday already. I just realized it and I finished it. No more already. That's why I don't have any questions really. But you guys get the flavor already, right? So the hard part is actually those profitability objectives, those kind of things. Those are the hardest to figure out. Like, should you increase the budget, or if the objective is making money or brand awareness, you need to think through what that is. So usually the focus is this: when you first start run the campaign, you don't know whether it's profitable or not. So your goal is to get it, what keyword structure, ad group structure, bidding structure gets you profitability. Then once if you're not profitable yet, obviously you need to fix the keywords and all those detailed things. Then once you're profitable, then it's really about increasing the budget. Right? And use conversion optimizer to optimize further to improve your profitability. Right? So you don't use conversion optimizer when your campaign is not profitable. No point, right? You're at a loss position. What's that optimize? Right? So these are the usual steps around it. Make yourself profitable first, then only increase the budget and use conversion optimizer. If not, just bid normally. Okay? Alright, good luck. You're free to go. And if you guys pass this one, you guys will be, or those who pass the first one, of course, you guys will be certified already. Because there's one more topic to go. So good luck.